It's too stressful, and frankly, I do not have the nerve.
Our rights are on the line, folks.
So she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
Jack Black just torched the entire legacy of Disney's Snow White on national television, and he did it with such force that fans are still struggling to process the fallout. One quick SNL monologue, one savage line, and Rachel Zegler's spiraling. Career took another beating she likely never saw coming.
I wanted my money back. It was very disappointing.
I sat through the whole thing. This was really bad. It was extremely leftist on every political dimension. Racial politics, sexual politics, class politics, regime politics. Its narrative was cowardly. It was just awful.
Lines that they say, like magic mirror on the wall. It was a lot of fun.
This wasn't a playful jab among Hollywood friends. This was a pointed takedown, laced with mockery, zero apologies, and a dash of comedic glee that only Jack Black can deliver. People are reeling because nobody expected the jolly, guitar-wielding comedian to lock horns with a Disney darling. Yet here we are, Jack Black on SNL.
The new Disney boss babe, who is Rachel Zegler, the inverse of...
They say all you have to do to make your wish come true is let it echo, 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 echo.
It's awful, generic. Never mind that the lyrics make no sense at all. All you have to do to make your dream come true is let it echo. Is it like on a metaphor?
They spent $170 million to make the thing, and it had the lowest opening, under $50 million, of any of these live-action Disney remakes that they've ever had.
Referencing the Minecraft film he's proudly headlining and tearing apart the crumbling fairy tale that Disney failed to resuscitate. Fans say it was instant gold. Critics call it an unnecessary public humiliation. But whether it was justified or not, it sent a powerful message across social media.
Broke out with this news, and I'm very, very, very excited and looking forward.
Now, I'm guessing that she's not married. I'm guessing that she doesn't have kids. The movie is a complete disaster, by the way.
She came out and she said, I apologize. Like, I went too far. But it wasn't sincere.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
Jack's unstoppable. Rachel, on the other hand, is in free fall, but that's hardly the full scope of this meltdown. Stick around, because what you're about to hear next will make your jaw drop even further. Long before Jack Black took the stage, the House of Mouse was already scrambling to salvage Snow White's battered reputation. Everyone expected a grand.
And, you know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe it only made less than $1 million.
For remaking the movie, they just got rid of the dwarfs. But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it. The disability, like we're a disability group. You just erased that whole...
Into this, the first villain Disney ever had. It's really getting myself into this big crown.
Fairy tale renaissance, buoyed by modern technology and star power. Instead, the box office receipts told a grim story. Financial insiders whispered about skyrocketing budgets, over $200 million by some counts. By release, the film's marketing campaign had ballooned beyond reason, desperately trying to buy back audience goodwill. But it never happened.
Hardcore. They're petrified of some kind of backlash.
It's got extra musical numbers that are incredibly unnecessary that really add to that runtime. And let me go ahead and let you know that they're absolutely f***ing atrocious.
Controversy in Snow White. The dwarves have been eliminated in the live action.
Yeah.
Now it's Snow White and the 7 magical beings.
Wait, it's 7 and the magical beings?
Yeah,
they won't even say
magical
and the 7
beings.
dwarves?
No, because they're not dwarves. For right now, that's the only jobs that are there.
In its opening weekend, Snow White limped through ticket sales, overshadowed by younger, hipper releases. The vibe was off from the start. Early screenings prompted lukewarm applause. Review bombs appeared on aggregator sites, but not all negativity came from trolls. Genuine longtime Disney fans felt let down by a film they wanted to love. Disney. Execs quietly held emergency meetings.
Disney deleted Someday My Prince Will Come and made a modernized feminist alternatives.
This is just so typical of the left. The progressives always finding a way to find their way back to doing something not progressive.
Doing catastrophically. They spent $300 million and it currently has a 2.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb.
The movie has a major identity crisis.
Last week was a very big week, objectively a huge week. We had quite a few
announcements of his first live-action film, which is Snow White and the Evil Queen. And that's me, I'm Snow White, which is so funny.
They repeated the same line to the press. We remain proud of Snow White. But the public wasn't buying it. Snow White now stands as a cautionary tale in modern film marketing. And the star, Rachel Zegler, carried a heavy share of the blame.
So apparently, according to them and according to the writers of Snow White, women can't even want to be in love anymore.
Rachel Zegler, like so many kids raised on TikTok, she's all for infantada is the only global solution.
Which brings us right back to the explosive moment when Jack Black stepped into the spotlight and said everything critics wish they could say but didn't dare. Because the meltdown wasn't just about bad numbers, it was about a failed fairy tale turned Hollywood fiasco. And what happened next made that fiasco downright epic. Leading up to Snow White's release, Rachel Zegler did the unthinkable. She publicly mocked the source material that launched the entire Disney princess lineup decades ago. Interview after interview, she dismissed the original Snow White as weird, outdated, and not a story she enjoyed. That's like stepping onto a stage where you're supposed to honor a legacy, then insulting it for the cameras. Fans were horrified. Memes erupted overnight, painting Rachel as the anti-princess. People replayed her interviews and spliced them into classic Snow White scenes to highlight the arrogance. The internet can be unforgiving, but Rachel offered a buffet of sound bites too juicy to ignore. She seemed unbothered, right up until the premiere's disastrous reception. Suddenly, her bravado felt more like overconfidence, and the public decided they'd had enough. Even worse were the rumors about how she treated the production itself. Allegedly, she had countless creative demands, insisted on rewriting lines, and pushed a modern lens that fans felt strayed too far from the beloved fairy tale. Whether these claims are 100% factual or not, the court of public opinion had made its ruling, and it was scathing. That tension set the stage for Jack Black's comedic strike on SNL, because if Rachel had been more respectful towards Snow White's legacy, maybe the fiasco wouldn't have been this sensational. Maybe fans wouldn't cheer so loudly when Jack delivered his blow. But they did. And here's where things get even crazier. April 13th, 2024. Studio 8H was buzzing with excitement. Jack Black stepped onto the legendary SNL stage, wearing his trademark grin. People expected some playful jokes, maybe a tease about his new Minecraft movie. Nobody foresaw the no-holds-barred slam against Disney's fallen princess. Right off the bat, he joked about how lucky he felt to be working on a cherished story that people actually want to see, pausing just enough to let the audience connect the dots. Then he made a sarcastic remark about princesses who'd rather slander their own fairy tale than engage with fans. The live crowd exploded in laughter. The internet replayed that moment a million times over. The comedic timing was brutal. The reference to the Snow White fiasco was crystal clear. And the subtext. Jack Black was proud of his Minecraft project, while Rachel apparently couldn't stand the classic story she was hired to recreate. The applause roared so loud, the rest of his monologue almost faded behind the pandemonium. But that wasn't the half of it, because once fans started dissecting Jack's every word, the meltdown grew even more volcanic. Nobody predicted that a movie adaptation of Minecraft would stand as a beacon of cinematic optimism, overshadowing one of Disney's crown jewels. Yet here we are. The blocky, pixelated world of Minecraft is brimming with excited fans, while the once untouchable brand of Snow White flounders in negative PR. Why is Minecraft thriving? Because it respects its audience. It takes a beloved game and looks determined to keep it fun. Jack Black radiates genuine hype for the project. In interviews, he gushes about how the film will honor the spirit of collaboration that players love. Meanwhile, Disney's Snow White project seemed dedicated to telling fans they were wrong to love the original fairy tale. It's like comparing a warm, inviting campfire to a dumpster fire. Social media turned this narrative into a meme war. Clips of Rachel calling the classic story ridiculous are contrasted with Jack enthusiastically describing how he's voicing or performing in a film that captures the essence of a global phenomenon. The difference is night and day. One is brimming with playful respect, the other dripping with dismissive scorn. And viewers rallied instantly behind Jack. But the real shocker came when box office trackers started predicting that a blocky video game adaptation might outperform a fairy tale with nearly a century of cultural nostalgia behind it. Disney rarely takes this kind of blow. But oh, they took it this time, and then the meltdown continued in more dramatic fashion. When Jack Black's roast hit the airwaves, the internet's response was swift and merciless. Within minutes, TikTok was flooded with reaction videos. popular. Creators flashed freeze frames of Jack's triumphant grin alongside shots of Rachel's stony expression during previous interviews. The tag about your Snow White disaster soared in popularity, overshadowing any official promotional hashtags Disney tried to push. Ziegler L became the mocking anthem. People would comment on completely unrelated videos with lines like, "At least it's not as big a flop as Ziegler's Snow White." One viral TikTok juxtaposed clips of Jack performing an upbeat rock number, while Rachel seemed to roll her eyes in press interviews. The caption read, "One loves the source material, the other hates it. Guess who's winning?" Even Instagram fan pages once devoted to Rachel pivoted to neutral or negative coverage. Reddit threads roasted every detail of the fiasco, and the mainstream news began picking up on it, effectively fueling the blaze. Suddenly, the meltdown was on every platform, from casual gossip websites to primetime entertainment shows. But that's still not where the madness ends. Because behind the scenes, sources claim Rachel's reaction took everything to a new level of tension. Hollywood thrives on rumors. And the rumor swirling through talent agencies and studio lots is that Rachel Zegler did not find Jack Black's joke remotely amusing. Allegedly, she unleashed a tirade at her management team. She wanted the clip pulled from official NBC and SNL social channels. She demanded public statements to defend her, but her PR team, already reeling from Snow White's collapse, feared that any move would only stoke the fire. So instead, they clammed up. They issued no statements, no clarifications. Rachel canceled several appearances. She even passed on a late-night talk show spot where she was expected to address the Snow White backlash head-on. Insiders claim she was outraged that a comedic actor like Jack Black dared to degrade her performance, especially on a show as iconic as Saturday Night Live. If she hoped to stifle the story, it backfired spectacularly. Her silence became front-page news on entertainment sites. Fans took it as proof she couldn't handle criticism. Trolls sharpened their knives, chanting that Rachel was in hiding. Every day of silence only made Jack Black's SNL monologue more potent. The meltdown was unstoppable, racing downhill faster than any PR team could contain. Even her rumored pleas to get the SNL monologue removed from official archives came across as heavy-handed and desperate. NBC, known for fiercely protecting SNL content, offered no concessions. In fact, the increased traffic probably benefited them. Some industry analysts even speculated that Rachel's meltdown had ironically boosted the show's ratings, as curiosity drove viewers to watch or rewatch the now infamous opening. Her PR team was stuck. They couldn't issue a defiant response attacking Jack Black because he's a beloved figure. They couldn't deny the subtext because it was undeniably aimed at Snow White. So they did nothing. That vacuum of action only made Rachel seem even more out of touch. Every day that passed without an explanation or apology hardened public opinion against her. Behind the scenes, rumors circulated that her management was scrambling to salvage upcoming film opportunities. Directors allegedly wanted to distance themselves from an actress now labeled box office poison. Even her co-stars in other projects started sidestepping questions about Snow White, not wanting to get dragged into the fiasco. For a rising star, it was a nightmarish chain reaction, each misstep magnified by the glare of social media spotlights. While Rachel hunkered down and avoided the spotlight, Jack Black did the complete opposite. He hopped on Instagram Live, chatted casually about his SNL experience, and even chuckled about the audience reaction. He remained the goofy, fun-loving persona fans adore. Critics might have accused him of being harsh, but he brushed it off with humor, championing the idea that audiences just want to be entertained. And in the eyes of many, that's exactly what he gave them. In another interview, Jack teased that the Minecraft movie was going to put fun back into the fairy tale vibe. It felt like a direct jab at Snow White's self-serious tone. The public lapped it up. Meanwhile, Rachel disappeared from social media, stirring speculation that she was renegotiating contracts, reevaluating her brand, or even considering stepping back from major roles until the fire died down. It didn't matter if Jack's SNL comment was borderline mean-spirited. The public forgave him because they felt he was expressing a legitimate sentiment that had been stewing for months. Fans love their classic stories and don't appreciate being told they're silly or outdated. The meltdown metamorphosed into a broader conversation about fandom respect, creative authenticity, and the peril of ignoring your audience's love for the originals. So, we're left with two extremes: a comedic actor beloved for his authenticity, and a former Disney princess struggling to repair a tarnished reputation. One soared higher than ever, turning even a roasting session into career gold. The other is left with a film that might go down as one of Disney's biggest modern misfires. And the meltdown? It's still going strong. From a distance, you can see the irony. A comedic actor who champions a blocky video game adaptation overshadowed a star who failed to champion her iconic fairy tale. It was almost poetic, like a real-life lesson in the very themes that fairy tales aim to teach. When we look back on this fiasco, it's clear the Snow White meltdown was bigger than just a flop at the box office. It became a cultural moment, proof that audiences won't tolerate being talked down to by the people who are supposed to entertain them. Rachel Zegler walked into the role of an iconic Disney princess, then publicly distanced herself from everything that made that character legendary. Fans felt disrespected, critics smelled blood, and once Jack Black fired his comedic shot on SNL, the entire house of cards came tumbling down. In the end, Jack Black didn't just generate hype for his Minecraft project, he ignited a conversation about authenticity in Hollywood, about respecting the legacy of a story, about understanding that audiences want fun, nostalgia, and magic, not lectures and self-important rewrites. And in that conversation, Rachel's name has become the cautionary example of how quickly you can fall from grace when you alienate the very people you're trying to win over. Maybe she'll rebound. Hollywood is a place of reinvention. Perhaps we'll see a humbler, more gracious Rachel down the line. But right now, as the smoke clears and fans rally behind Jack Black's confident stance, it's obvious who the victor is. If there's any moral to be gleaned, it might be never underestimate the power of an unforgettable comedic takedown, especially when it's aimed at a towering corporate behemoth that lost the plot of its own fairy tale, until the next jaw-dropping chapter. The meltdown stands as a lesson. Charm your audience, or watch them turn against you. And in the showdown between the pixelated joy of Minecraft and a so-called modern Snow White, we all know which side the audience picked.